Hi everyone, this is Prashad Parthiban. Today I'm going to talk about protection and indemnity insurance when it comes to ocean marine. Most of you know what is ocean marine. It is a kind of policy which covers any kind of properties that kind of is in the water, right? Like you transport cargoes from one place to another place in ships. So if something happens to those cargoes or that ship itself, then you use ocean marine. So this protection and indemnity is a kind of subgroup under ocean marine. This protects liability exposures. Similar to personal auto, how you have a liability coverage, this particular coverage gives liability exposure when it comes to ocean marine exposures. That's what it says. It's a maritime liability coverage that protects ship owners, operators and charterers. Basically ship owners are like who owns a ship. Sometimes the ship owners may not be responsible for moving the ships. In that case, operators like the people who are in charge of that ship, etc., they are called as operators. Charterers, sometimes third parties may rent the ship, similar to how people rent trucks, etc. They may rent that ships, and in that case, they are called as charterers. The reason why we cover them is, even though they have first party coverage using hull insurance, which is nothing but ship insurance, they also need to protection to cover liability exposures. Say, while the ship is moving, it unintentionally or in negligence, it hits somebody else's ship or somebody else's cargoes, etc. Then we need this coverage for liability exposures. That's what we need, this protection and indemnity insurance. Basically what it covers, it covers damage to other boats or bridges, right? Like because of the reason that it is responsible for their loss, we'll use this protection and indemnity insurance. Or crew injuries or death, oil spills or environmental events. Most of the time, as I told you, see, if the ship has oils and due to the loss, what happens, the oils have kind of created some environmental pollution, still we'll use this particular policy to cover that. Legal defense cost for liability exposures, passenger injury or like cargo damage, right? Because of the negligence, there is a damage to the cargo. Salvage, sometimes the ship may be at loss and they cannot move, and it is the responsibility of the ship owner to move that particular salvage items because it cannot block other ships from sailing, right? So in short, like protection and indemnity is a kind of liability coverage for ocean marine exposures, and there's a big history to that, right? Like basically the hull insurance was not covering liability, and then group of shippers, they come together and they formed a mutual insurance company, PNC Club. So it's a non-profit organization. They kind of pull in money from different ship operators and shippers, and then have that premium, and then when there is a loss, they kind of cover that losses. That's how it gets operated at a high level. There are different PNC clubs, but in short, it is very important you understand that protection and indemnity insurance is kind of a liability coverage protection which covers in terms of ocean marine exposures. Thank you once again for your continuous support. Have a great day. Bye bye.